Hi guys, this is Radhika here from Mic Drop Mom. I'm so happy and excited today to bring to you this candid conversation with a renowned storyteller and educator, Mrs. Swati Kheria from Kolkata. As Margaret Fuller said, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. And Robert McKee said, storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world today. These are the two most important aspects of your child's development. They help your child to grow mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. These two are very powerful tools that any parent can gift to their children. So when I got this opportunity to interview Swati, I did not want to let this opportunity go by. So I'm just waiting for her to log in.
Hi, Radhika.
How are you?
Good. How are you? It's been so long.
I know. I was so excited to have this conversation with you for such a long time.
Right. It's a pleasure to be here and it's a pleasure to be chatting with you on such an interesting topic.
I know.
Yeah.
So can I start shooting my questions? I have a long list.
Oh, sure. I'm ready. Geared up.
So can you tell me about your journey? How did you become a storyteller and an educator? Where did it all begin?
Okay. That's lovely. That would be a great start, I feel. So to start with, I wasn't an avid reader during my childhood or growing up days. So shout out to all the mums there who themselves don't read and they want their children to become unabashed book lovers. Perhaps this one is for you. So it all began when my daughter was 3 years old and she preferred books over toys. So that's when all parents want to give their children the best. So that's when I stumbled upon Little Reader's Nook, and it had such a beautiful curated children's literature that just took my heart away. And there my journey began, and I took up story educating, and from there was no looking back.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great.
Growing with her and growing through stories with her.
Wow. Now, I'm sure everybody has this question in mind, that why stories? Why do you think it is so important? Why do you think it is so powerful?
True. Stories are powerful. And that's an excellent question, Radhika. I would have loved to address this before all your, long list begins. So there you go, stories. And it has a very simple answer. Why stories for children? Because children love stories. Plus, stories mirror life. And that's why stories become a space wherein children can explore and children can discover themselves.
Right.
So when I say they can discover themselves, I mean, unlike traditional teaching, which ends up in rote learning, stories give you a space to build critical thinking and critical skills.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now coming to critical skills, everybody knows about the language skills, right? We all look for communication classes, comprehension, vocabulary classes. So we know stories help us in the language skills, which are broadly three: vocabulary, comprehension, and communication. Right? But do we know that stories also build in the socio-emotional skills in children, the learning skills in children, the thinking skills in children? So if you allow me, I would like to, tell you what do I mean by these three skills.
Absolutely. It's very important. I think every parent should know about it.
Right. So thinking skills are mainly creative thinking, divergent thinking and independent thinking. So when a child is young, a child needs to, develop their own thought process, right? We don't need to feed the children every time. So the independent thinking and the critical thinking skills develop through stories. Secondly, then we talk about socio-emotional skill. We mean empathy. We mean collaboration. We mean community spirit. So stories in a very beautiful and subtle way, communicate empathy to a child. right? I can give you a very nice example here. So this child from a story class goes home and helps his tired mom. He was not told to do so. He was not told to be empathetic. But yes, he did it because he imbibed it through stories. So it just creates magic. And learning skills, when I talk about learning skills, I mean curiosity to learn. So experts also believe that the learning outcome in a child is best when it's driven by curiosity, right? It is made joyful. And, also an emotional connect is created. And there's no other better way than stories. You choose stories to create an emotional connect, to make it more joyful, and also to drive a child's curiosity.
Absolutely.
Right? So these are the most important skills which I think I wanted to elaborate on when I talk about stories.
So, do you think there is an ideal age for a child to start reading independently?
So, Radhika, there is no ideal age for children to start reading independently. For that matter, I would say that I have seen children reading at the age of 4 independently when they know their phonics well. And I have seen children not reading till the age of 9 or 8 independently. But having said that, you can always create an environment wherein the child learns to read, or the child is the child thinks reading as a pleasure. So now the challenge is reading must be a pleasure, not a task for them. So
Correct.
that's how reading is developed in children. And I would like to share something here. So my daughter, being a story educator, I realized that she did not pick up books instantly and start reading till the age of say 6. So what magical happened then? She always loved me reading aloud to her.
Hmm.
So what happened? So I one day some learned person told me, "Are you choosing the books for her, or she's choosing the books herself?" And I realized that as parents, we at the age of 4, 5, 6, we choose the books for the children, and
Absolutely.
we create their library of books.
Yeah.
And the moment I took her to a bookshop and I asked her to choose, she chose the ones which intrigued her the most.
Yes.
And that's when a reader is born. And that's when next day she came and told me that I've finished these 3 books. So the sense of accomplishment, when you choose your own books, when you choose your own reading level,
Right.
so it's very important not to go by the reading levels mentioned behind the book. So you'll have books saying 2 plus, 3 plus, but you should be guided by your child. You know what your child wants. And the moment you be guided by that, your child will develop a habit of reading and then grow up to be an avid reader.
These are such important and essential tips which I think every
Right.
parent should know, at how important it is that you have to leave your child to choose their own books. I agree with you on this completely.
Right,
So,
right.
when do
It's
you
very
think we
important.
should start reading to our kids?
Right from birth,
Yeah.
or maybe when you're pregnant.
Yes.
So because doctors do believe that children in the womb now can hear, and so I would suggest, see, from babies also listen, right? So I feel reading, the right age to read is from birth,
Hmm.
right? So here, allow me to show you a couple of books. For example, this book, Flutterfly. It's a
Huh.
Tulika publication, and the pictures of the book, it's a little baby. It's black and white. So we believe that the first 2 weeks, a child cannot see color,
Huh.
right? And it gradually, within say a week or so, the colors come in. So here, there's just a small butterfly moving through the book, right? It has no words.
Right.
So it's 0+ book starts from this format, and then you can gradually go up. So the more we read with children, and that time you are at ease, the child is not fiddling with your books, right?
Right.
Gradually, when the baby builds motor skills, the baby may chew on books, or the baby may fiddle with the pages. That's when we parents look for soft cloth books, or they look for hardboard books, or they look for the touch and feel books. So that's when the sensory organs develop.
Right.
But I feel reading from birth does build that sense of the picture books. So that's how we gradually move on to giving them picture books and other sound books.
Okay. So, can you give us an overview of age-appropriate books for parents? Like a mini simple guide which will very be beneficial for any parent.
Okay, sure. I would run through the ages. So after like a child, once the child reaches one, and first we always say that the child listens to sounds like the coos and the babbles. So that's how the old MacDonald songs and the wheels of the bus have become so popular with toddlers because of the sound words. So that's how we start with all these simpler books. Like I have a few examples here. It's Hick. So there are a lot of sounds in these books, like we're going for a bear hunt, the swish, swash, and these are all foreign authors, but Michael Rosen is a good author you can look at. Or you have books of Eric Carle, we all know about. He's a very good, author for starters. So that's ages 2 to 4 I'm talking about when you start with. Then gradually, there are also lovely books from Tulika for that age group, for that matter, like Rooster Raga, you easily available. And I love this series, Gajapati Kulapati again. So these books have a lot of sounds which interest children. So the age group 2 to 4, you can be guided by your child, as in when the child wants to look at lots of pictures and hear lots of sounds. Okay, that's when the child grows with sounds. Maybe good night books. Maybe parents choose to read to their child in the night. So some good night books, some Guess How Much I Love You, and these books have big pictures, like the brown bear. So the focus is on one single picture.
Right.
You'll notice many such books which are coming for ages, the toddler age, is single picture. The child's focus is on a single picture. And the big ones, like especially the brown bear, they have single big pictures so that the child can focus on one image.
Right.
So that's how we move on to picture books. Some good authors in picture books are Julia Donaldson, as we know. She has lots of books which the children can explore at that age, 2 to 4. But when I'm giving you these suggestions and when I'm telling you these books, they are very relative. A child, if a parent has started reading to a child since birth, the child may have read many of those books till the age of 2 or say 3. Then you move on to the next level, right? And to the parents who haven't yet started reading and the child is already too pleased, you're never too late. You can still start reading to your children. So don't get disheartened. You're never too late to start reading aloud to your child, even when your child is 6, even when your child is 8, even when your child is 11 for that matter. There is no reading aloud age.
Right.
Adults love being read aloud, so why not children?
Absolutely. Okay, so Swati, my next question. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
So I was saying when you move on to 5 and 6 years, then you come to a little more, clear, a few pages. Like, you may move on to the easier picture books of Roald Dahl, like The Giraffe, Pelly and Me, or The Enormous Crocodile. Right? And when the children have got a sense of accomplishment that they can read these books, then you move on to the chapter books, like the early Ruskin-Bond chapter books or the Walker books, which are more chapter, a 100-page chapter book.
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
And here I would also like to mention, Radhika, that I strongly, strongly believe in encouraging parents of children ages 2 to 5 to read them our Hindi books, our regional languages books, these Mera Ghar, Lal Chhata, or ye sab jo small books which one line written on them. These are from Tulika Publications, but they're very small books, but it's so important to build our mother tongue, right
this
from
Lal
childhood.
Lal Chhata is from Tulika Publication?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, The Red Umbrella. So, Barsati, Lal Barsati, and, maybe Akku Ko Gussa Kyun Aaya. It also develops, emotional quotient of the children.
Bilkul.
And plus, it also gives them a connect with the mother tongue.
Absolutely.
Which you may not find the time later in their learning years, when they reach classes 4, 5, and 6, you may not find the time to read to them in these languages.
Right.
And having said that, Hindi is my mother tongue, so I have kept some Hindi books here. But these, Indian publications have books in all regional languages: Tulu, Marathi, Gujarati, Malayalam, all languages you can think of. So I really encourage parents to go through go through these books from, smaller publications. Also have a lot of good books, like Pratham does a lot of regional languages books, which are excellent.
Okay.
So we must go, have a look at them, and it's so important to have your mother tongue equally
I
developed
I
in the
completely
children.
agree with you on this, that learning your mother tongue is a priority. The child should know
Right,
from a very young age. So my next
right.
question to you, Smati, is many parents must be having queries on reading challenges with their kids. I'm sure you have been bombarded with such questions. How would you address them? Like when the
Right.
parents come and ask you, my child does not read. What do I do?
Yeah.
Please help me.
My child doesn't sit.
But as the child does
When
not.
do I read to him? There's no time.
Yeah.
So there are lots of these there likes to address it in their own way. But I will share with you, Radhika, what worked for us and what worked for many parents, so that other parents could take a lead from there. So I feel that reading should come as something, reading should have a stipulated time given.
Right.
I mean, in a day, maybe you can have a reading hour, or you may even if it's for 15 minutes, wherein the culture of reading as a family comes into being. Or maybe you have your 10 minutes before the child goes to bed, wherein you're reading aloud to him. Or you as a family, the father, the mother, and the child just sits and reads after a cup of tea and coffee in the evening. Like that, half an hour, as a family, you give it to reading. So these habits really, when we say no, don't show, don't tell. So we mean that. So when the child, maybe one day the child won't read, the second day the child won't read, but the third day the child will either want to sit on your lap and read, or the child will automatically pull out a book and just look at the pictures. But the
Yes.
child will develop a habit of reading.
Right.
That's one big hurdle crossed when you have a reading time allocated. Secondly, when people come and tell me that why child doesn't sit, so we need to choose the correct time. When a child is high on energy, the child wants to move about, wants to run, wants to let go of that energy. So wait for the correct time when the child has finished running about and is now settled, when the child is not hungry. You can't sit with a book and say, okay, let's hear a story, and the child is hungry. So that doesn't work. So we need to give the child a calm and serene atmosphere. And also when the child himself or herself wants to just sit and listen, maybe every child has its different timing, that a parent can always take the best call. Maybe while taking a shower, the child is playing with water and you can start reading, and then the interest just booms in.
Right.
So that's how we all can address these reading challenges.
I completely agree with you on this, because every night my family, all four of us, we sit and we read books. So now the younger one is also in the habit to sit with a book and go through the pages.
Right.
So your advice is absolutely 100% correct. So do you have any tips for kids who are 8+ and still not reading, or do not want to read, and the parents are complaining that they don't want to sit and they don't want to read?
Right. So see, 8+ are mature kids. They know, they have the mind of their own, and they know what they are doing. So there the question comes where so the same 2-3 things I would like to repeat. A, let them choose their own books.
Yes.
B, let them also see your reading, the reading atmosphere. But the most important point here comes that maybe reading is a task for them.
Right.
So maybe we are the ones who are pushing these 8-year-old children that I think you should read. I think you should sit and read now. So, how often do we as adults like people telling us to do things? How
Not
often
much.
do we let our children, be? How often do we let our children discover things for themselves?
Right.
We need to introspect and ask us this question. I think all parents, how often do we let our children to discover themselves on their own?
Absolutely.
So this is where, when this is where I'm trying to explain you what our Nook does. So, for example, this little child goes back home and tells his mom, "Can I have a spinach soup for dinner?" And the mother is stunned that a little boy coming up and telling me that spinach soup for dinner.
Hmm.
But the mother didn't know that he had read about a young boy cultivating fresh farm vegetables with his grandfather in the garden.
Hmm.
And that's when his grandfather told him about the benefits of spinach to little Oliver. And that's how he comes back home and says this to them.
Right.
So no child in our Nook or no child ever is told, these things which they develop from stories. They just develop it. They just, imbibe it because it's been told in such a beautiful way, because it's told in a, way of a story. For example, if a child comes and asks you, why is the crow pecking at the window?
Hmm.
And you just tell, because the crow might be thirsty and the crow needs water. We must give the crow some water. But when you say the same thing through a beautiful story, maybe the thirsty crow story we all know about, how beautifully and emotionally the child can connect to the story and always remember it.
Right.
So for the same thing for the even the elder kids, if a child at the age of 8 is not reading, why not you read aloud to her?
Hmm.
Why not as a parent we read it aloud to her for
Hmm.
some days,
Hmm.
and then make reading a pleasure for her? Then she's
Right.
driven towards those books, and
Hmm.
that's how she herself will go and choose books and start reading.
Right. So, would you
Yeah.
want to leave us with an ending note? Anything that you feel that yes, you should um, convey to the viewers, that why story and reading
So,
is important?
Radhika, I am believer that the world is made up of stories. The
Yeah.
world is not made up of atoms, and the world is made up of stories.
Right.
So, I really feel that the magic of stories be like, may no child be devoid of the magic of stories. For that matter, no adult be devoid of the magic of stories. Like children love stories, adults do love stories. It's just that they rarely admit it. But
Right.
I think no one should be devoid with the magic.
Correct. I think what you are
I would
doing
leave.
is something very incredible, because I really feel that stories and reading, it gives wings to a child's imagination. And you are changing so many lives, Swati. It is so
Thank you
important
so
what you're
much.
doing.
Yeah, it's a task to, in this digitalized age, it's a challenge for every parent to, bring the children to the touch and feel of books.
Right.
And when the children are so involved in their gadgets, it's a challenge, but I'm sure we all will keep up to the challenge and read to our children, and also,
Absolutely.
give them what our parents gave us through these books.
Because I think books and stories, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, a lot of things change. And we can slowly see that change in our
Very true.
kids.
Very true. Stories do heal.
Stories
Stories
do
heal,
heal.
and
Yes.
stories, yes,
Yes.
stories do heal, and stories do change lives.
That's true. So I'm so happy that we had that candid conversation, Swati. I really would love our viewers to send us more questions that you would like to ask Swati. And, just feel free if you have any questions on reading and storytelling. She's there to help you out, and we would be honored to answer all your queries. Guys, please do follow Mic Drop
Thank
Mom on
you.
Instagram and Facebook, and give us all your love and support. and start reading books and start
Right.
telling stories
Start
to your
reading.
kids. It's very, very important. And you will see a
Yeah.
sea change. You will see a sea change in your family, in your kids, in your behavior. A lot of things change. So,
Yes. And believe me, all of us are storytellers, right? Parents are
absolutely.
born storytellers, and so are
Yes,
children. So
absolutely.
children become readers in the lap of their parents. It's often said. So please
Yes.
go ahead and do the reading.
Yes. So, guys, please do follow My Group
Thank you
Mom on
so much,
Instagram
Radha.
and Facebook and give us a feedback about this conversation. Swati, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. For it was a pleasure to
Thank you
have
so
you here.
much, Radhika.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. It was indeed a pleasure.
Thank you, Swati.